Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. A little delay in the switching.
Yep.
It worked, though.
It worked. Woo-hoo. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And it's quite nippy here. all the cold air is leaking through my AC. That's why I got my green sweatshirt on. This thing is, oh boy.
Yep.
I would almost say it's older than me, but not quite. But
yeah,
it's an old one.
but it's a good one. At least it's keeping you warm.
Hey, Joe. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Oh, there went crazy already. She hit something she wasn't supposed to. Anyways, oh, the cat's got to jump into this. Hey. Oh, let's see what we got going on here. Welcome back.
I hit the right. That was me. I went to go switch over to the YouTube side to catch up to the chat, and I hit what did I hit? Shelf Reliance in my tabs. So I was brought to
Hey, Marshmallow Man. Good to see you. Let's see what to start with. There's so much to start with.
I know.
Yeah, this here's a good one to start with. Let's go ahead and share the screen and Biden's meltdown that he had press conference.
His face too.
Let's go ahead and.
Are you kidding me? Mr. President Trump, former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
Will you hold him accountable? You said you were going to hold those accountable.
Public will hold them accountable. You better than the press hold them accountable because you know the truth.
Do you plan to speak with former President Trump?
No.
I walked away, like disappears to nowhere, like a little kid. No.
Yeah.
No.
And Trump's actually helping people. He was there before FEMA was.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't he open up one of his properties for the workers to come stay at?
Oh yeah, that's this hurricane. I was talking about the last hurricane.
Oh yeah, the last hurricane. Even so, he had it all set up for everybody that needed to work, be there to work, and to go whichever way.
Vice President Harris here in Washington commanding this weekend. I
No.
was commanding. I was on the phone for at least 2 hours yesterday and the day before as well. I command. It's called a telephone. And all my security people. Is it not important for the country to see?
Yeah, he's cut off. And here's another one here.
Mr. President Trump, former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
Will you hold him accountable? You said you were going to hold those accountable.
It's more or less the same, but
that's all he says. It's just like
get a life. Get
Go
a
get a
life.
life, man. And no. That's all he says. No, stomping away and get a life.
And he raised nearly $8 million for hurricane survivors.
Oh, that's
And
all
he
gonna
also,
go.
got Musk involved to put Starlink out and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see this one.
Oh.
Flood. We really got to watch
Oh,
those areas and those
yeah.
communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this briefing.
No.
What? Yeah, evidently she didn't know it was actually live on TV. She thought she was just back there talking with all these
Yeah.
official people.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when the good stuff comes out, when they're caught off guard.
Yeah, and Harris did a town hall with. There's a lot into this, but I'm going to show the first part of this first, and then we're going to go to behind the scenes, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring it up here. I thought this was good news to add here. And this is mainly for Latinos and stuff because that's majority of what I heard. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go down here to, and I'm going to do a 101 real quick. So pay attention to this little thing setting up here. It is a camera, but there's something else involved with that. But that'll come after these couple videos. I just wanted everybody to pay attention. Now I could play this for another 4 minutes, and she still doesn't answer the question. By the way, so I'm not even going to finish this out because
She never answers a question directly. She never
it's
does.
word salad.
Yeah.
Now here's another one. I just
Yep. She just starts changing her accent, whatever environment she's in.
Yeah,
She's never herself. She's always going to be that environment. It's just so
she's fake.
chameleon. She's a
That's
chameleon.
all it is. She's totally fake.
Yep, totally.
And here's a little tidbit that I told you to pay attention to. That one thing.
That camera.
Well, it's more than a camera.
Yeah.
It's a teleprompter.
Teleprompter.
These people are asking her questions, and she's reading from the teleprompter.
Yep.
How
convenient.
And she's still not answering the question. She knows what questions are going to be answered or going to be asked, but she doesn't answer them still. And
No.
she has all this time to come up with an answer for them, but doesn't. And then they
Victim of crime. Are you?
I guess we weren't supposed to show that, were we?
Right. Cut to the next camera. Quick, quick, quick. You can hear the camera guys yelling at each other through their mics. You fool.
Yeah.
That one's definitely fired. The one that was running that camera.
Well, the teleprompter was supposed to go off. Like it did when they went panned across her head. And then it was off all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ugh. And then, and this guy here, he's in the same boat as her, Walz.
Mm.
He's waltzing around the question. And let me go ahead. This interview was another ABC, one-sided thing.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday. You said, I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. But the campaign came out later that night, and they said that's not their stance.
Yeah. Well, it's not the campaign's position. And the point I'm trying to make is that there's folks that feel every vote must count in every state. Mm-hmm. And I think some of folks feel that's not the case. Our campaign does that. And the point I'm saying is I'm in 5 states in 2 days. We're out there making the case that the campaign's position is clear, that that's not their position. Their position and my position is to make sure that everybody understands their vote, no matter what state they're in, matters.
So that's something that you and Vice President Harris disagree on?
I have spoken about it in the past, that she's been very clear on this, and the campaign, and my position is the campaign's position.
My position is the campaign's position. That's not what you said before, though. So now he flipped it around, because he's saying that electoral votes and stuff have to go, and then the campaign came out and said that's not we don't believe in that. After he had said that, but now it's like, oh, I've been told to behave, so I don't have my own voice. I have to go with what they said.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of him. He's a puppet. Pretty much it. Just a puppet. But like I said, it is a bit nippy. I think it actually we might be up to 40 now. Yeah, 40.
Yep.
We definitely got more frost this morning, so.
Mm-hmm. That cold air from Canada's creeping down.
About the only thing I have left to harvest is maybe some carrots, which I might even just leave the carrots in over and for next year. See if they get bigger. I'll take a few out and see. Sometimes you can do that depending on the winter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we're all expected to get quite a good winter this year, supposedly.
And since there is a lot of, let's kind of go back to memory lane, I guess, for hurricanes. And these are and let me know in chat some of them you guys will remember, some of them you probably won't, mm-hmm. because they're for a good while. There's some older ones, and some before they named them even.
Yep.
So this is the worst hurricanes in U.S. history. This one was in Galveston, the Galveston hurricane, and this is before they named them. So there's no name for it. 1900, with a population of 40,000, booming port of Galveston was the largest city in Texas when the Category 4 hit. The Great Galveston Hurricane would go down as the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history, killing approximately 8,000 people and destroying 3,600 buildings. Now, you sit there and think about this. If something like that hit nowadays with the amount of people that there is,
yeah,
and there was 8,000 people died then, ooh. But then again, you have to think that we're more evolved, so that we have levees and different mm-hmm. things to kind of protect from the hurricanes and stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then we have the Great Miami Hurricane. The eye of the Category 4 hurricane passed directly over downtown Miami, at the time the fastest growing city in the United States, destroying many buildings and tourist attractions. Total damage was estimated at 105 million, which was back then.
Yep.
Death toll was 373, and it's believed 800 people may have perished. So that even goes to show you back then their numbers differ from what they say. Oh, like North Carolina, there's only 224 people that perished, but there's like over 1,000 body bags have been issued.
Because not everybody's been quote unquote down.
Florida Keys Labor Day hurricane, 1955. One of the most intense storms to ever make landfall in the U.S. The hurricane caused at least 408 deaths in the Florida Keys, most of them World War I veterans working on the railroad connecting the Keys to the mainland Florida, with winds of 185 miles per hour. It was the most intense hurricane in U.S. history until Gilbert in 1988. And this is when we get to Sandy. Sandy's up in here. 2020, 2012. I'll get it in a minute. Forming into the largest Atlantic hurricane ever. The hurricane force winds spanning 900 miles. Sandy affected 24 states across the entire eastern seaboard. A total of 160 people were killed in the U.S., mostly New York and New Jersey. The East River overflowed, flooding Manhattan and several subway tunnels. Over 100,000 homes were damaged. And then we got Hurricane Harvey, 2017, inflicting 125,000 or 125 billion in damages. Harvey is tied with Katrina as the costly hurricane on record. The wettest storm to make landfall, Harvey landed the hurricane area with widespread flooding, resulting in 30,000 residents displaced and 68 deaths. But you can kind of see the difference in, like in 1900, 8,000 people perished, and now these are supposed to be worse hurricanes, and we're getting less. And a lot of that is because we get to see the forecast saying, "Oh, evacuate the area" and stuff. A lot of people are evacuating now. Then back then they did. Oh, there's just a storm coming, and they don't know it's like a major hurricane. And then we have the New England hurricane of 1938. This hurricane would kill approximately 600 people, destroying 8,900 buildings, leave 63,000 residents homeless, and flattened over 2 billion trees. One of the most powerful destructive hurricanes in recorded history. A storm made landfall on Long Island at staggering speeds of 47 miles per hour, entering the nickname Long Island Express. And then we got Hurricane Hazel, 1954, where it killed 400 people. We have Hurricane Maria, 2017, causing a 90 billion in damage, and death toll at 4,645. And that was Puerto Rico. And then we have Hurricane Camille in 1969. And Camille is thought to have created the largest storm surge until Katrina. Over 200 people would die as a result. Let's go down to this one. This is Hurricane Diane, 1955. The path brought heavy rains, extensive flooding to North Carolina, to New York. But the worst damage was Connecticut, where the storm surge effectively cut the state in two. Woo. And 184 people were lost in that one. And this one, wow, this one looks really bad. Hurricane Andrew, 1992. I remember this one. Most extensive hurricane to ever make landfall. Andrew left a trail of destruction across Florida and 23 deaths in the U.S. in Dell County alone. 63,000 homes were destroyed, with another 110,000 damaged. Over $1 billion in agricultural damage was done. And we have Hurricane Betsy, the $1 billion Betsy was nickname given to the storm. The coastal in U.S. costliest in U.S. at the time, after causing extensive flooding in southern Florida. Betsy struck Louisiana, causing a storm surge in, I don't even want to, Poche something another lake, flooded the lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans. Water reached up to the attics, drowning residents as they tried to escape. The U.S., well, we won't read any more of that because it opens in a new page. Here's another. Here we go. Oh, Hurricane Agnes, 1972. Was barely a hurricane when it made landfall in Florida. The worst damage would come over the northeast as Agnes produced rains up to 12 inches, causing extensive flooding in Virginia to New York, resulting in 122 deaths. And Okeechobee hurricane in 1928. I guess that's when they started calling them, started naming them. Category 4 had already devastated the Caribbean, killing 1,500 people by the time it hit southern Florida, destroying thousands of homes in West Palm Beach. The worst was yet to come as relentless storm surge overwhelmed the small dikes on the lake of. Oh, okay, I guess that's why they call it that. Okay, shore and cascading water 10 feet high across 75 mile wide. Wow, dang. And that's it. That's. Oh wait, here's. I was going to say there should be more. Yeah, here's hurricane in 1922 or 2022. Deadliest storm hit Florida since 1935. Labor Day hurricane killing 150 residents in the state. Category 5 Ivan is the costliest storm to ever hit Florida and the third costliest in U.S. history behind Katrina, Harvey. And then we go back to the Florida Keys in 1919. Atlantic Gulf storm. This storm sank 10 ships in the Florida Straits, drowning 500 before causing massive damage to Corpus Christi, Texas. There, the official death toll would be 287, but estimated 600 people may have died in the 12-foot storm surge that flooded the city. Ooh, 12 foot. And there's Helen. You know, it's pretty bad when this Helen got up here already. Which, again, they're saying at least 200 people have been deceased in this. Andrew in 1957, an area of 1.6 million acres. Audrey is believed to have killed over 400 people in Louisiana, making it the sixth deadliest hurricane in history of NOAA, or whatever it's called. And this one, this is Katrina. This is supposed to have been the worst of all of them. And that was in 2005. Katrina was the most devastating hurricane in U.S. history, producing catastrophic damage and massive loss of life. Overwhelming levels of lake, again, that one lake, Pochi, well, I'm not even going to try to say it. The storm surge flooded 80% of New Orleans overall. At least 1,245 people died in the hurricane and subsequent flood in the U.S., making it the deadliest since 1928. And that is the list of them. And yeah, that's a lot. You sit there and think of all those storms and everything. Ooh. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. and this had just popped up, so I don't know too much about it. There's a couple stories here that I'll put it. They've been going wild, I guess you would call them. But let me go ahead and put this one up here real quick. There we go. Chemical leak triggers emergency in Texas. Authorities have issued shelter in place due to well, I'm horrible with names today. Hydrosulfate spill at an oil refinery in Deer Park. Oh, we'll go ahead and play a couple of the videos here.
Who you with?
Yeah, so far there was supposed to have been only one person who had passed. I think this is just vehicles going in and out. So let's go to the story
with
here.
a quote emergency. Moments ago, we did see a Lifeline helicopter taking off, and Don Armstrong is up in Sky 13, and he's hearing that more life flights are on the way there. We're going to stay on top of this story, and also we have Luke Jones headed out there on the ground. We'll bring you updates as we get more information.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of that story. Dang it, I forgot to take that off. There we go. I hate when that happens. Let's see. There was, and I'll play it a little bit here. There was this live stream that was going on with airstrike that Israel hit on Beirut. Not going to play the sound or because there ain't no sound. I don't think no sound, but the whole live stream is people just standing around talking, and what they're saying is that they're supposed to be digging for bodies and stuff, and nobody they're all sitting around, nobody's doing anything. That's the gist as I get off of this this live stream. There's a lot of reporters that come in and start reporting on it and showing these people just sitting here, and this live stream goes on for like 3 or 4 hours, and this is all you see is people standing here not doing anything. I'm wondering if they're so worried about, these people, why are they not, what are they doing? But yeah, I thought that it was something interesting. And also Iran issued a warning to the United States to stay out of the conflict. If they get involved, then bad things will happen. You know how they go about telling on stuff. Anyways, I wanted to, let me find it here. Oh, here's the meme for today. I thought this was a pretty good meme. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. put that up there. There's the meme. And I always wondered what FEMA stood for. Okay, now I understand what FEMA stands for. There we go. Yeah, I thought it's. I was trying to figure out what is this. But now you know. Now you know what it stands for. And yeah, we got to have a funny in here. So let's go ahead and get a funny going. Let me go ahead and pop it up here on the screen. Don't understand what they're saying, but I understand the outcome.
Está chica, güey. Está chica porque si trábala, güey. Sí, pero de los dos lados. Métele la mano por los dos lados, güey. Porque si va a salir volando. Vete a la verga. 2, 3. ¡Ah, no mames! ¡Vete a la verga, güey! ¡Vete a la verga, puto! ¡Van a ver ahorita, güey! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡Vete a la verga! ¡A la verga, güey! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡Vete a la verga! ¡Tú piensas que esta verga está grabando, verga! Está chica.
I can just imagine what he's saying, but if you didn't catch that, there's a big pile of steamy poo-poos under the bucket, evidently telling him to catch something, and he grabs a big handful. Then not only that, he goes and falls in it on top of that. So yeah, he's not a happy camper at the moment. Not at all. And might as well put this one up here. The majority of our youngins nowadays are into making the TikToks and stuff, and sometimes it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. So yeah, let's go ahead and play that. I'll go ahead and mute it. Ooh. Yeah. Beware your surroundings when making these videos. Whoops. Yeah. And here we got this is one of them the Tesla cars or whatever, and they have autopilot, but you got to hold on to the steering wheel, So this is the thing that's going on with those cars now. I'll go ahead and show this real quick. He's got a bottle of water sitting inside there, a Gatorade or something. So it thinks the hands are up there, and he's sitting back here watching the movie, all covered up in the blanket. Autopilot's going. I mean, this sounds really cool, but I don't know if I can sit there and do this and not be worried about what's going on the road. I mean, I have a hard enough time when somebody else is driving, just,
Saw my name on the lecture.
Yeah, I don't. Would you guys do something like that? Nope, not me. Not me. Definitely not. Let's go ahead and bring up some stuff going on in Florida. And you can just imagine what this is about, but I'll go ahead and play it.
He has no role in this process. And I've been dealing with these storms in Florida under both Trump and Biden. Neither of them ever politicized it. And in fact, all the storms I've dealt with under this administration, although I've worked well with the president, she has never called in Florida. She has never offered any support. So what she's doing is she's trying to inject herself into this because of her political campaign. So as the governor here who's leading this, I don't have time for those games. I don't care about her campaign. Obviously, I'm not a supporter of hers, but she has no role in this process. And so I'm working with the people I need to be working with. We're leveraging the resources I need to be leveraging. And for her to try to say that my focus should be on catering to her rather than worrying about my own people just shows she doesn't understand what it means to respond to these natural disasters. She has no role in this process. And I.
Yep. And she was getting trying to flip it around on him. It didn't go too well. And let me see if I can get this up there. This is another good video here.
Hey everyone, just a quick update. Congressman Corey Mills, Florida 7th District. Just got our truck in. We've got our generators. We've got lots of supplies, diapers. They're offloading the truck right now here at harvest time in Seminole County. For those who've been asking me about where can I individually donate to, Seminole Heart is a great nonprofit that has the ability for individual donations. This right here will go out to areas most impacted. So like Geneva and the other areas here in Seminole County that sees the majority of flooding, or even underserved communities that they find that flooding actually impacts the housing a lot more. So what we'll be doing is continuing to get supplies. So everything from wipes to diapers to generators to foods to non-perishables. We're getting everything we can. We loaded this truck nose to tail thanks to our partners and our charity organizations like Glenbeck's Mercury One. But we're still unloading. We're here, and supplies are coming. We are tied in with Alan Harris at the Seminole Emergency Office Management. So we'll continue to be delivering and out in the district, just making sure we're evaluating assessments, and we'll keep you guys updated on where the supplies are being distributed and where. Thanks again. God bless you guys.
And again, I wonder how long it'll take FEMA to get there. Of course, it took them, you know, the percentage of all the donations. You're not, well, you don't donate to FEMA. That's our tax dollars. There are other companies that, you know, that I would stay clear of, and I'm not going to go into their names. While the one that Oprah and Rock did, that was a scam. Oh, that was really bad. And I think it was 6% of the money that came out of those donations got to the people. 6%. That's worse than YouTube. There is one thing I wanted to talk about with talking about shortages, and it's not because they're, you know, the strike in the ports or anything like that. It's grains. Since Russia is pretty much cut off from us getting their grain. Ukraine, we get a little bit out, but it's the insurance rate on the ships for those ships to bring the grain out is so expensive, you might as well not bother. Right now, there's a historic drought going on in Amazon right now, and this is where there's supposed to be a river right here. These people walking across, and it's bad, and that it's not only here. It's over in China. There's a major drought over in China for when they're growing their wheat and stuff, and they're saying this it's the lowest it's been since 1950. And with that, you're going to see the price of wheat, in other grains. A lot of beer companies right now are freaking out because of the price of barley and all that stuff that they make, or the hops and whatever they make their beer out of at the time. So in the next coming months, you're going to see a big increase in the price of bread because of this. Not going to look good, not at all. So that's my kind of little warning there. Let's go ahead and let's see. I guess we can do another funny before I make everybody mad and get everybody hungry. Put this up on here. And this is a combination of a couple video. Well, somebody did a reaction video to this first video. Add it to the screen there. There we go.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, fingers in. Okay, seatbelt comes off. There we go. Loop in. Okay, now with my other hand, I'm going to kick the seat back and I'm going to open the seat. I'm going to open the door, okay? 3, 2, 1. All the way down. I'm out and I can escape freely, okay?
This is the reaction.
Ah! 3 fingers. 2 fingers. Seat down.
In the arms.
It didn't go too well. Oops. I did it again. Dang it. There we go. I thought that was a good one. And did you hear about the taxis and stuff? Oh, I better put this one up here before, even if we go over a little bit here. There's a lot of talk of this one right now. And this is Knoxville, Tennessee. This came in late or early this morning. Large evacuation zone due to suspected explosive device. Now, this first image was found to be not true. The zone, it's the wrong size and the wrong location. We go down through here. There's one bigger, and this is the actual one from an official. I haven't heard much other than this. There's a box, and it's supposed to be high amount of explosives in it and whatnot. I haven't got too much more information about it. other than here on X, which, you know, so you guys you'll probably hear about it here later today, if it isn't already out on the major news. But in Knoxville, they're covering it on live local news. They haven't figured out anything yet. I think the originally presumed was that this covered a large area because of the emergency alert we were sent via text. It's within a half-mile radius. So yeah, it's something to think about if you're in those areas and whatnot. But again, it's oddly enough that it starts on Twitter, you know, or X, whatever you want to call it. But let's go ahead and switch to this other part that you guys just love.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making what burritos, and you guys wanted to see a video of it, so I'm turning on the camera and I'm gonna take you along with me. We are gonna be using one of my favorite kitchen tools right here. It is a casserole crock pot dish. So it's kind of like a lasagna dish. I use it for everything. I used it last week for Salisbury steak. I use it for dump cakes, desserts, side dishes. You can put stuffing in there, or I guess you would call it dressing. I don't know. My family always called it stuffing, even if you didn't stuff a bird. You could put anything in here. It is phenomenal. It is a helper in the kitchen. I use it all the time. Besides making, you know, of course, lasagna in it. I'll leave a link for it down below for anyone who's interested, but I know many of you have picked it up and you want to see more recipes that I do in it. So we're going to do it together. All right, so I prayed over this video, like I pray over every video, but I prayed over this video. I'm like, do I keep it simple or do we make everything from scratch? And so, because I have a video on how I make homemade refried beans, which is just using some lard, using some garlic. I use a little bit of onion sometimes, salt and pepper. A little bit of cream cheese is what I put in it just to make it a little creamier. I use my home canned pinto beans. I have a video on that. I'm going to leave it up. I think it's in this corner. I'm going to leave it up in a link for you up above. I'll also leave it down below in the description box. If you want to make your own homemade refried beans and you don't know how to do that, you can go over there and watch that video. If you already make homemade refried beans, that's already a given. That's what you're going to do. And then if you don't, and you don't can, because I'm trying to be mindful of everybody here, some people don't can yet. I'm hoping if they watch my channel long enough, they'll want to. But for those of you who don't can and buy pre-made refried beans, I got you too. So that's what we're gonna use in this video. We're just going to keep it really simple, just like Spanish rice. I make my Spanish rice a lot like I make my stuffing for the stuffed peppers, except I don't add ground beef to it, and I add cilantro to it. So if you know how to make homemade Spanish rice, make that. I'm going to just be making a rice-a-roni, and we're keeping it easy. We're also going to keep it kid-friendly, so there's not going to be a lot of spice to this, but spicy enough to where, you know, my kids enjoy it, but, you know, not too spicy to where they don't. So I'm a mom and I cook for kids, so we're going to just keep it easy. We're going to use our crock pot there, and all right, let's get started. So again, this is the crock pot that we're going to be using. You have a low and you have a high. If you're going to make it in the morning, go ahead and set it to low. If you're going to make it in the afternoon like I am and you just need it to cook for a couple hours, we're going to use the high. The lid only gets locked down for traveling, but when you're cooking, you just lay the lid right on top. So we'll be doing that. I am using flour tortillas, and I'm using the larger size ones. These are the ones for tortillas. not tortillas, 4 burritos. Heather, get it together. So 4 burritos. So this one is an 8-pack. I do have 2 packages. I think we're only going to need 1, but I have backup just in case. We are also going to be using enchilada sauce. Then I've got refried beans here. I get my refried beans. If you're going to buy them pre-made, I buy them for the kids because sometimes they like to make a quick bean burrito for themselves, but they don't know how to make the homemade refried beans. So in a can, and then they can just warm it up real quick and they can do that. I get mine from Aldi, but you use your favorite. We're also going to use a little bit of queso. Again, mine comes from Aldi. We've got a Vidalia onion here. I've got a little can of, focus camera, there we go. So a little can of green chilies, also from Aldi. I think that's from Aldi. It might be from Kroger. I've also got a little can of sliced black olives, and then seasoning. So if you, I'm going to keep it simple, so we're going to use taco seasoning pre-made. If you make your own, go ahead and use that. I'm also going to be using a little bit of chives. We're going to use some paprika, some granulated onion, and granulated garlic. I've got some red pepper flakes. We're also going to use some salt and pepper, and a little bit of cilantro. If you don't like any of these ingredients, you can leave them out. You don't have to add them. I just add them for more flavor. Okay, a couple of things I did forget to mention. We are going to need, of course, ground beef. This particular beef is from the cow that we get from my neighbor. And then also I'm going to be using some of that homemade onion stock. You can use water if you want. I just use onion stock because it's more flavor, and I have it on hand. So that's what I'm going to be using. First thing I'm going to do is get an onion chop. Okay guys, now if you have one of these choppers, you can let everyone know down below how great they are. I just put them right in here, and then that way everything's pretty even when I cook with it. And now that I'm going to put over in our plate. So over medium heat, I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil. You can use avocado oil too if you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add our onions. I like these a little bit rougher. If you like them a little bit smaller, if your kids are little and they really don't like onions, go ahead and chop them up a little smaller. My kiddos are starting to come around to the goodness of onion and garlic. So I'm very thankful. So I like to leave mine a little bit rougher because it cooks down with the meat. So so I'm just going to kind of soften these up a little bit before I add my meat to this and we cook up our meat. So just until they're translucent. Okay, in the meantime, while we're cooking up our onions, we'll give this a quick toss. We're just kind of caramelizing those a little bit. We are going to doctor up this refried beans. Now, if you don't make your own, but you really are not a fan of the canned, like I am not a fan of the canned, I'm going to show you how I doctor mine up. So I add some granulated onion to mine. I add granulated garlic. If I had to guess, probably a teaspoon of each. I add some cilantro, probably another teaspoon. I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes. I'm going to add a little bit of cream cheese. Now I'm going to use the chive and onion because that's what my kids are eating right now. If I had to guess, probably like a good tablespoon, okay? This is what's going to add, at least for me, the creaminess to it. And then I'm going to add, I'm going to open it up here, a little bit. Now instead of water, I'm going to add just a little bit of my home canned onion stock. Again, it's just for the added extra flavor, okay, and just to kind of loosen this all up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on low. Let that heat up a little bit before I try to mix it all in. I'm going to have to add just a tiny little bit more of onion stock. And that's probably going to be maybe a 1/4 cup. All right, and then let's go over and get our meat going. So now that we've got our onions sauteed up a little bit here, now I'm going to go ahead and add my fresh beef is always going to look a little different than store-bought. It's a little bloodier, it's a little redder, it's a lot more lean. It's actually ground steak, if you will, because I actually have a 1/4 cow ground up into ground beef for me. So we're going to add that. So this is 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Now if you cook for more people, you might want to use 2 pounds. If you don't cook for 5 people like I do, you might want to use 1 pound. It's totally up to you. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. Yeah, this is something easy that you can just whip up for a quick dinner. So especially with that crock pot, it's literally you make it, you set it, and you forget it. You can do this right in the morning, get it all in there, and then come dinner time, it's ready to go. So as we're cooking up that ground beef, I want to add a bit of these green chilies in here. Okay, let me just do, it's like 2 teaspoons, about half of the can. And then we're going to start mixing this up. And if you see that you need it a little creamier, you can add a little more cream cheese, or you can add a little bit more stock if you're using stock, water if you're just using water. We're going to start getting all of this kind of mixed in and blended. So as the meat starts to brown up, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt, which is sea salt I'm adding. Okay, we're going to add some fresh cracked black pepper. Okay, I'm also going to add some granulated garlic. And I would have to say probably, I don't know, between 1.5 teaspoons, just depending. And I also I love paprika. I grew up on paprika, and it ain't cooking unless you have some paprika. So I like to throw some paprika in here. And then we're just going to let this continue to brown up. And because this comes from basically ground beef from a cow, including all the steak pieces, this is going to have very little fat. If you are using a, you know, like an 80-20, even 90-10, if you want to drain this afterwards, you can. You drain all the fat out of your meat. But you'll see once this cooks up, there's really going to be nothing for me to drain. But keep that in mind. If you're new to cooking, I'm basically talking to the newbies out there. I have so many new cooks following me, and I have friends of my son's that follow me. So this is mainly just for them. If you know how to cook, girl, just you know what to do. So all right, so we're just gonna let that brown up. I'm gonna stir my refried beans, and we'll keep going. Once this is all browned up, and you see it's very good, put in your oven like a casserole dish. It's fine. We are now going to use our enchilada sauce. I'm going to pour, without making too much of a mess, Heather. I'm going to pour some right like that. Hold on. So that kind of splashed on me. And I like it neat. Okay, so now that we have our enchilada sauce, we're going to just slide that over, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to fill our tortillas. And hopefully you guys can see all of that. Now, I do have some queso cheese. I always just put down just a little Just a smudging. Just a smudging. Now you can put sprinkled cheese down here if you want. You can add rice to this if you want. The sky's the limit. However you like your burritos, you can add the onions, you could add peppers, you could anything that you want. Be creative. Make it different every time you make it. That's what I say. And then we're gonna put some beans in here. A little bit of bean. My kids like it more meaty than beany, so I always add twice as much meat as I do bean. Okay. And then, of course, you could add shredded cheese if you want. Then I just kind of fold and tuck back. Fold, fold, and roll. And then, if you wanted to, you could pan sear that closed, but it's going to cook in here, and it's going to be fine. And then I just lay it in my casserole. So, go ahead and make another one with you. But you used to get one, and it used to have black olives on it. So, specifically, they used to put 3 black olives on each one. Do you remember that? Oh, let me know if you do. So you can do that, or you can be like me, and I just sprinkle it. Mina's not a big fan of black olives. Eric loves them. Mason can take them or leave them. So, so you do it however you want to do it. I'm just going to throw them on. And then I always like to add, just because I like the aesthetic, I like to sprinkle a little bit of cilantro on top. And then we have a half a can of these green chilies left. So you can go ahead and just sprinkle the remaining on that. You can also leave it, if you have extra bean or meat, you can make a little side nachos for your kids. You can use it tomorrow to make tacos for lunch. However you want to use it up. If you don't use it all. I did not use all of mine, so mine most probably will be used as nachos because that's how my kids like it. And then we'll just use the green chilies all up. And that is it. We put the lid on like so. It's on high. I'm going to let this probably cook for about 2.5, 3 hours, depending on when we get around to eating dinner. I like this because I can just push it back. Forget about it. It'll be cooked. Before we eat, about a half hour before we eat, I will make Spanish rice. Just a easy rice-a-roni with some tomatoes. I always doctor this up. I always add a little cilantro to this as well. So, but you don't have to. This is just going to be a side dish. And that's it. All right. I will see you guys back when this is ready to serve. Okay, and here we go. It smells so good. It smells so good, doesn't it, Danny?
Yes.
It smells so good. Mina wants a taste test, but I wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what it looks like after it's been cooking for 3 hours. Now you can cook it for a little longer, but really all the ingredients were already cooked. And I don't know if I want to use this little spatula or the big one. I think I'm gonna try. Might have to. You have to use both. All right, I'm gonna finagle that out of there like so, and add a little bit more cheese. Now Mina's not a big fan of the black olives, so we'll just put one on there for looks. So there's that, and then, sorry, you weren't even zoomed over to see it being plated. So there we have it. It's a little green pepper there. And then let me get some tortilla chips. Miss Mina, you want to taste it? Now, do you need me to cut it up for you?
Can you blow it down?
Blow it down. Make sure it's not too hot.
Yeah.
Let me make sure you get.
Or the food porn for today. And want to do just a quick announcement before we go to the Bible verse of the day. Crazy Irish will be going live. Is it 12 or 12:30? I think she might have stepped away. Anyways, I think she's going live at 12 or 12:30. So make sure you head over to Crazies and watch her live then. And let me go ahead and switch it over here to the Bible verse for today. See if it works. With us today, and I'll probably see you tonight. I'll have my normal Friday night live. And there's Crazy.
I had to mute. My stepdaughter stopped by real quick.
Oh, what time's your? Oh, okay. I guess that's it right there.
I think it's what, 12:30.
It's either 12 or 12:30.
Yeah, it's either 12 or 12:30. It's a test run because I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
Lake says it's 12, and
Okay.
B says it's 12 too. So
Okay, 12 o'clock.
Geez, Crazy.
I thought I said it for
Get
12:30.
your right times down.
I know. Gotta reschedule myself. Jeez.
But I'll make sure you head over to Crazies at 12 o'clock, and then later tonight I'll be live again. I don't know about 101. It'll probably take him a little while to figure this this new system out, because he's leaving StreamYard too, because they're charging they raised their price to $44. $25 to $44, just like that. And again, I never got no warning.
Yep, me neither. I looked up through my emails, never got a update saying, hey, we're gonna jump up the prices, nothing like that. This one's just plain old $25
Yeah.
for free. In the free version, you can have up to 12 people on your seat. So
Yeah,
that's way better.
Free. You can go longer time, and you get so many more options that you can do.
Yep, it's just getting used to the program, and that's what I think that's why I started mine at 12, because who knows if I can get it. I know I can set the get it going, but it's gonna be a fun house Friday.
Okay. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a blessed day.
Yes.